So, welcome back. Today we're here with Cailum.
Nice to meet you guys.
We met through a mutual friend, did a bit of sparring, and thought, why not get a bit of a chat going? Nothing too serious, a bit of a convo. I've prepared some questions, but we're going to go off the cuff anyway and find some cool stuff about sort of his experience out here in Bangkok, the reasons why he came here, and yeah, general chit chat and just sort of get to know a bit more. So. Going into your sort of business then, just give everyone a little bit of a backstory of sort of what you do and how you do it.
Yeah, so I do a thing called growth operating. We basically build communities and sales funnels for content creators online. So either we'd build them a whole new business, partner with a content creator who've got loads of views, traffic, stuff like this, and then we'd basically build them a business for them to sell from their social media. But recently we've just been scaling people's already online businesses. So it's been really good, to be fair. I mean, we've been building communities, me and my business partner, for probably 2 or 3 years now, completely for free, just sort of did it for fun. And then we thought, hey, why not start to build them for people online, people we can actually monetize. So
yeah,
sort of looked like, who can we monetize, and sort of thought, why not partner with content creators? And ever since then, it's just been up.
nice. Yeah, turning sort of that passion into a bit of a business and enjoying it at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I think we briefly spoke about sort of your sort of trials through that time. So, what is like the common beliefs about online entrepreneurship that you think most people like use to hold them back? They're actually stunting their own growth. What sort of stuff do people?
People think they can do it fast. People think it's just easy. People think they can do it for 1-2 months and they're just going to get crazy results. But honestly, I've never met someone who's done something for 1 or 2 months and then they've just took off. I mean, I think if you choose and buy yourself into the longer time frame, you're going to be way more successful because you already know you're going to be doing this for 1 year, 2 years before you're going to get the results that you want. So I think a lot of people just go into things with the wrong mindset. Hey, this is going to be something I'm just going to do for a couple months and I'm going to be successful. But
yeah,
I've never really found that to be the case with anything. So
yeah, it's more of a process. It's a 10-year process to sort of build a brand or sort of have a good following, and sort of what you're doing is to get those 10,000 hours in and get an art mastered. So yeah, it's going to take longer than you think, and yeah, you've got to be ready to knuckle down and sort of face problems and and learn from them as well. So yeah, what sort of drew you to Bangkok as a location?
So Bangkok as a location, I sort of thought, like, there's a lot of people there on the same mission as me. And I mean, I'm not quite ready for places like Dubai and anything like that yet, but I sort of thought Bangkok, a few of my friends already live there. I know there's people out there who are hungry, just like me. I know there's people out there who have probably already made it, people that I can connect, get advice from. So I think that was the main thing that drew me here, just like the people who are here as well, on the same mission as me.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, I think I have a quite a similar outlook on it, and sort of putting yourself around the right people, and also people that are willing to commit to moving 7,000 miles from home or even more. Sort of that they are committing to something bigger. So there's 90% of the people, obviously there's people that holiday make here and come here for a week or two, but the lads who are staying, they're really committed to their goal, and I think that sort of funnels out a lot of people that just are time wasters and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's a good move. You've been here for quite a bit longer than me. I've been here for about 2-3 weeks, and yeah, I'm finding it completely different to the lifestyle at home. What's like sort of one thing you've noticed that is just completely different here than it is at home?
I think just the lifestyle, like everyone's just cracking on, working all the time, like people connecting every day. I mean, me and you, we met 2-3 days ago that people were just out to meet each other constantly. But life back home is like, you sort of have your group of people and you don't really go too far away from those people. But out here, it's just you meet one person, then you're going to meet one of their friends the next day, and you're constantly meeting new people, and everyone's just completely open to it, which is the thing I love.
Yeah, that's the benefit of it as well, is everyone's sort of out here either on their own or with a few friends, but everyone's, like you say, on it to just get stuff done and sort of make progress. And we were saying the other day, you might not know the person, but you might share a mutual So you go to follow him on Instagram. Oh, so you know him, and oh, how do you know them? And sort of that's the beauty of it, especially if sort of you're in a network or you spend your time networking and doing that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's good. There's a great community out here at the minute, and yeah, I think it's been the best choice that I've made, and I think you can say the same.
Yeah, 100%. I think just taking that risk and just sort of going into the unknown. You don't really know what the outcome's going to be, but it's definitely the best thing I've ever done for my own personal growth. Just sort of putting myself in a place where it's like, you know, nothing, no one, everyone there. You've got tons of people you can get advice from, and honestly, ever since I've been here, it's just been growth. So I think if you're probably watching this and you're thinking, if you want to make the same decision, just take the risk and do it, because it'll probably shape the rest of your life completely.
Yeah, and even if you set yourself a time frame, sort of, I have a time in mind where I put so and so amount away to facilitate the move. Just use that time to sort of put yourself out there, even if nothing comes of it. Stuff will. It's a process where you can sort of shape, like you say, the rest of your life and put yourself down a different path. And conversations that you have on a day-to-day basis can really put you in a different stead and change your mindset. All it takes is to meet a couple of the right people and say the right few things to you, and you say the right things back, and next thing you know, you live in the life that you want. And the thing about Southeast Asia and this part of the world is that things are slightly cheaper, but what you should also know is things can get expensive as well. You need to limit yourself, and I think a lot of us found out the first sort of month you start, the first month you came here, that you spent a lot more than you actually predicted. So I did a bit of research beforehand and spent a bit of time speaking to people that are already here, and they all said the same thing, like just prepare to spend more than you plan. So
I think a lot of people come here with the mindset that because everything's so cheap, you can just buy a lot of things and it's not really going to total to too much, but you'll be very surprised about how much stuff can just total up very quickly.
Definitely, yeah. You need to have a bit of a budget in mind, and let it be flexible. Yeah. So, yeah, what's sort of one habit that you do now on a day-to-day basis that sort of sets you apart from where you used to be? Or
just making sure that I get work done. Like, I used to wake up and just sort of waste so much time, like even stuff like morning routines. Like for me, I always thought, I'm going to do this in the morning and then it's going to set me up for the rest of the day. But now I wake up, I'll get a shower and I'll just crack on, because I know like that's just going to result in me getting more work done. So that's the first thing: wake up, get work done, instead of wake up, go gym, eat, go for a walk, and it's like half my day's gone already. So I think just waking up and getting the work done is probably one of the main things. Yeah,
just getting after it and sort of having a good idea of what you want to do the night before as well.
100%. Writing down a schedule for your next day is probably one of the biggest things you can do. Just having like a rough idea of when you're going to be doing things, instead of just trying to freestyle your whole day, is just going to get messy.
Yeah, I was watching a video from Alex Hormozy yesterday, and he says a similar thing as, you know, you have two different types of time. You've got manager time and creator time. And a lot of the stuff that we do over here, and well, similar guys in the industry of like info products and that sort of stuff, is a lot of your stuff doesn't have, you know, you can't work in 20-minute blocks. You need to be sort of putting 3-4 solid hours of concentrated work in. And, you know, these morning routines and these paths that you put yourself down to sort of get in the zone, they actually take away from your blocks.
Yeah.
You only get like a couple of blocks a day, five or 6 days a week. So I think getting the solid work done in the morning when the phone isn't ringing or no one's texting and that sort of stuff, just get locked in early doors in the morning. That's been a good thing for me. And it's not been perfect, and it's there is the habit there to just go and sit on the phone and scroll, and it is a trap. So we're all victims of it, but the main thing is just sort of making the work priority first thing in the morning.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the best thing to do, I think. Going into that similar sort of topic, how do you sort of keep your motivation going on days when it feels like it's sort of drifting away?
You just got to remember what the big goal is at the end of it. Like, I mean, there's going to be days you have bad days and you're not going to get much done, or something might not go your way, but one of the main things I do is I look at myself a year ago. So I think, how is my like situation different from how it was a year ago? So I remember I was sat there on New Year's Eve. I was super, super stressed. And I thought to myself, hold on, like I'm sat here stressed in Bangkok, sitting by my pool right now. Last year, I was probably sat in my bedroom in the UK, super stressed. And it was just that time to reflect, like, hold on, let me just think 365 days ago. How was my situation different from then? And I was thinking, if I said to myself a year ago, this would be my stress, I would have been so happy.
Yeah.
So I think just sometimes taking a bit of time to reflect on like where you was in the past and how life has changed differently, and then thinking also, okay, this is the goal, just keep on going, just take it 1% at a time, every day at a time, and you're going to get there.
Yeah, bit of self-comparison, because with the social media and, you know, looking online and all the sort of influences, and, you know, you can go down a rabbit hole of comparing yourself to people who are either 10 years down the line from where you are, or are in the same position of you but are just pulling the wool, and actually just not doing a lot for themselves, but know how to make good flashy content. So yeah, that's a great tip, is sort of just compare yourself to you a year ago or 6 months ago. So yeah, your problems are always going to develop. There's always going to be a new hill. There's always going to be sort of a new horizon you've got or that you want to get to. But yeah, it's a good tip. Just stay grounded. Remember where you were.
You can't compare your level 5 to someone else's level 100 online. Like if I'm going to compare myself to anyone, it's myself. So just pick apart your bad parts, fix them, change them. Look at yourself 6 months ago, a year ago, because a year ago you would have probably killed to be in the position that you are right now. So at the end of the day, that's the only person you should ever be comparing yourself to.
Yeah. So looking into the future then, say 10 years time, 15 years, he walks into a room now, you in 15 years, what would he sort of say, or what would he thank you for doing now? That
I think just never stopping, just being so resilient with it, just carry on taking the risks, because I've always just been a risk taker. I've always just took the biggest risk I could, never really liked working, always just sort of knew that life weren't for me, and I always just kept being resilient with it. Even when family members were like, hey, just get a job, I was sort of just like, that's not the route I want to go down. So I think he'd sort of thank me for just sticking to my word and being relentless with it, and just carry on going no matter what the outcome is.
Solid answer. No, I respect that. Just keep going, pushing towards a goal, and the main thing is having a goal in mind. I think a lot of people sort of want to get somewhere. They have the idea, but don't actually really materialise what they want to achieve. But yeah, just never stop.
That's what it's all about. You just got to take it every single day at a time. That's all you can do. Set yourself a goal, figure out how you're going to get there, what you're going to do to get there, and all you can really do is chip away every single day. I mean, nothing's going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen in significant chunks either, but all you can do is chip away every single day and just take baby steps in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. And sort of going back to what you do for your career now, have you found sort of any troubles like finding the right people, or sort of how are you looking to attract your sort of dream client and the people that you need to help, and where are they, and how are you sort of strategizing? What's your sort of mindset around that?
Yeah, so I think when I first started doing what I'm doing, we sort of went down like a bit of a bad route in terms of like who we were trying to work with. I think we were just trying to find anyone with an audience and views who would be willing to work with us that we could monetize. But we were sort of tackling the wrong niches. We were sort of going with like yoga creators and people who were doing like mobility stuff online. And it's monetizable, but not on like a really wide scale. I mean, these weren't like super huge creators. So I think to start with, we were just picking the wrong people. And I think that's the main thing. You've got to look at what people are actually buying and then just copy that, because there's no point trying to create a whole new like industry for yourself to like sell to people. So I think at the start, just tackling the wrong people, and then going forward, I think finding the right people. We sort of just want like people to approach us, because when we're approaching them, it's sort of knocking all of our authority. And I think most of the people like we have been working with in the past, there's been like a little bit of an authority thing where like we're telling people what to do. We've been working on like revenue splits, and we've been telling them to do stuff, and sometimes they've just been like, hey, I don't really want to do it this way, because they haven't given us money to do this for them, and they're just sort of like not mentally brought in the process. So I think going forward, just social media, create content for businesses that they can watch and say, hey, this guy knows my problems. I know he's got the solution. They're going to reach out to me, hopefully, and then go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, sort of making sure that you're having the correct sort of model,
Yeah.
the right person who's bought into you. I think there's got to be a mutual respect, definitely sort of a fair exchange of value. They may think sort of the people that you tried to help in the past may have sort of discredited you because you weren't.
Yeah.
The introduction or the approach wasn't correct. So I think, the main thing is sort of putting yourself out there and promoting yourself to the right audience, and they will find you. The world works in that way, especially with the social media and the YouTube that is around now, and the way Instagram works is the right people will find it within due time, and you've got a great product, and it has a positive effect on someone's business. There's no way that it can't grow and can't scale. So it goes for a lot of things in life as well, not just sort of that. It's the way that you approach new friends, or you sort of, depending on what space you're in, approaching women, or all these stages in life, the sort of balances and the respect and the systems in place that you have to sort of start conversations and things like this, it all sings from the same sheet. It's all about balance, definitely. 100%. So what else, I'm going to push a little bit further, what else from Bangkok do you really like? That
My favourite thing is it's never cold. So
Yeah.
I obviously come from the UK. Even in summer, most of you watching this will probably be from the UK. You'll know it's not the warmest place, but ever since I've got to Bangkok, it's just warm constantly.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get rain, but it is always hot. So that is one of the main things that I love. I don't really have to wear coats. I don't have to wear trousers if I don't want to. I mean, it's a shorts and t-shirt sort of place. So that's one of the biggest things I love. And the lifestyle is just so different here as well. Very cultured, very like heartwarming in a sense. Like in the UK, everyone's sort of in a bit of like a state where it's like money, money, money. Go to work, come home. There's no real like connection with like families. There's no people like friends meeting on a regular basis. But out here, you'll see everyone is so sociable on like a daily basis. They'll be going for walks in the park, just socialising. And for me to see it just warms my heart, because I just love to see it. I mean, I come from the UK. If I go down the street and say, oh, hey, to someone, they'll probably just give me a bit of a funny look.
Definitely, yeah.
So I think that's one of my favourite things about being out here. It's just really, really just nice to see people out socialising and seeing other people happy.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of, although it's a big city, there's a lot of families here in the community. You do get in the parks and stuff, and people, taking the dog out for the walk and jogs in the evening. What I did notice as well is sort of I'm a bit of a daytime creature. I like to be out when it's light and wake up early in the morning. I think you're similar. But this place runs at night. Like, people just don't come out until the night time. It gets so much busier in the evenings, sort of dusk time. And obviously there's a big nightlife, which I haven't really delved into, but that's a huge scene here as well. But one thing that I was quite shocked about when I first came here is sort of like the road safety and the motorbikes, and sort of when you're going down the street, there'll be like construction work. So my background is, I did 5 years in construction, and then 2 of those at the end were in management. So I saw a lot of health and safety, regulation, even I was having to enforce it and all that sort of stuff. And then coming here, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's
mate,
completely different.
It is very relaxed. There's sort of no education around. It's getting better now. There's a lot of people, I've seen through statistics, more people like wearing helmets and stuff, but you'll get sort of grab drivers, they'll be riding around on a scooter all day, all night with just sliders on, shorts, no helmet. It's an absolute, it's just chaos.
It's a different world for sure. I mean, you've mentioned the roads, and the roads in Bangkok are the craziest I've ever seen. I mean, they're never quiet, ever, but the motorbikes constantly flying past, just going in and out in cars. It's honestly absolutely crazy. And you mentioned also construction. I was at my friend's condo the other day, and I see this guy. They were building a new condo right next to it, and he was literally just hanging off like the edge of a building, like putting down some like floorboards, and no harnesses, anything. And he was just like looking off the edge of a building, and I thought, this is just mental. Like,
Yeah.
you would never ever get this in the UK.
No, because a bit of facts for you. So the UK has got some of the highest regulation on safety in construction and sort of any businesses in the world, and it reflects in sort of the statistics when people get injured. So yeah, to come out here and see people putting their lives at risk, but they don't even realise it is it's a bit shocking. But yeah, it has been improving according to some people. But yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah,
but
I think for sure.
yeah, you got to stay vigilant. It's like anything. You got to be you keep your head on a swivel when you're walking down the street. Don't cross the road without looking, 4 or 5 times either way. It is madness. But I think what it also does as a positive, people are a lot more free and also forgiving when things don't go the way they're meant to go.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of respect when sort of like, I know guys that have like had or nearly had motorbike crashes, and people are just like it's all calm. Like no one's sort of getting angry, no one's shouting. It's like, okay, we understand we've both fucked up here. Like, we're just gonna say sorry and carry
I've
on.
seen a few motorbike accidents, nothing too crazy, but as you just said, they'll both get up and like, oh, sorry, and it's just go on your day. So
yeah,
it's not too bad.
yeah, it's a far cry from sort of road rage in the UK. You don't get any sort of that stuff here. But what's like a controversial opinion or sort of like an ulterior opinion that you've got on the future of online business, where you think it's going to go, or sort of opposite? Is there anything that's sort of contrarian?
I don't really think so, to be honest. I mean, I think it's such a no-brainer to get into like online businesses, because the industry is ever growing. Like social media is ever growing. I mean, we all pretty much live through social media like in 2025, and it's only going to get, in my opinion, like worse. So I think if you can just get yourself into the industry, and instead of being like a consumer, sort of be a creator, I don't think you can really lose, to be honest. Not on a longer time frame. So I don't really have too many like controversial opinions, but I mean, I know for a fact this industry is just going to carry on growing. So I think if you can just get into the industry yourself, then the chances and like the opportunity to grow with it is absolutely massive.
Definitely, yeah. And when did you realise in your life, was it a couple of years ago, I take it, but when did you realise sort of this is where things were going? When did you sort of wake up? Was it after you left school, or sort of...
What, for like the online stuff?
Yeah, when you sort of realised when this is sort of what I want to be doing, but also that it has the ability to grow too.
Yeah, so I mean, I think for most people in like the UK and stuff, like working online is like the ultimate dream, because you can live in places like Bangkok. But for most people, they don't really want to get their faces online, which is okay. But it's also like a bit of a hard like industry to break into, because obviously everyone knows like people want to work online, so it's very competitive. But I mean, it's always been in the back of my mind, like I want to work online, I want to do this, but I never really knew what to do. But sort of about a year ago, I sort of thought to myself, like, what is stopping me from getting my face online? And for me, it was my opinion of like my friends on me and people that I knew. I thought, oh, they're going to think I'm weird. But I sort of just reached that point where it's like, I do not care anymore. I'm just going to do whatever I want because it's best for me. And that was sort of the turning point, just literally giving absolutely no shits about what anyone thought about me. And ever since then, like my life has tremendously got better, because you're not making decisions based on what other people want for you. You're making it based on what you want for you.
Yeah, definitely. Sort of, you don't think about what you're going to wear to a party because someone else is going to call you out on it, or sort of, how you talk. You can be who you want to be, and especially moving out away from home. It doesn't have to be to the other side of the planet. It can be to another city. But moving out of your comfort zone where you grew up, moving out of your parents' house, putting yourself into a different situation, is you can redefine yourself of who you actually are, or 100%. Who you want to be, rather than being limited or constrained by sort of social pressure. And yeah, like you say, breaking out of that sort of the judgment and just getting rid of sort of any preconceptions and redesigning yourself. That is sort of the be all when it comes to sort of growing as well. Is you have to sort of kill the person that you were, or just forget who that person was. Like now I've been here for, you know, a short space of time, but I can't, obviously I've got a good memory, but I can't remember what it was like, the feeling day to day. It's, you change so quickly when you sort of put yourself in a new environment and sort of, you know, completely flip the script. And it takes some doing, but it takes more commitment after it's done. You can make a decision, but it takes more effort to stay on the decision than to just, you know, give up, because you will have had it at some point. It's like, should I really be doing this? Should I just book the ticket home? Like,
yeah, for sure.
It crosses everyone's mind, but you sort of, like you said, remember your why, remember what you're doing this all for, and definitely put yourself in the right situations to succeed.
Yeah, I think killing that old version of yourself is essential, because that version of you is not the version that you want to be. Like, if you think about the end goal, like, what habits does the person who has your end goal, what habits does he have?
Mm-hmm.
And he probably doesn't do what you're doing currently, so you have to change. And in most cases, you have to just completely kill that old version of yourself to just recreate yourself. And
start from scratch. Take what you've learnt from your life, but start again. Clear out the dead wood and keep going. So, sort of to bring this all to an end then. So, when you look back at your journey, what would you say was the one failure that sort of was actually the reason for your continued growth?
one failure for my continued growth. I mean, to be honest, I had to hit rock bottom, right? So the actual turning point for me in my life, and the whole reason I'm here right now, is I literally hit rock bottom. I was pretty much broke in the UK, and I got fired from my job, and I was at rock bottom. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and it was sort of like a blessing, to be honest, because like when you're at rock bottom, the only place you can go and the only way you can go is up. So I sort of thought to myself, look, I'm already at rock bottom. I don't think stuff can get much worse. I've got no money. All I've got is time. I'm just going to invest all this time back into myself. I'm going to stop going to meet my friends, going and getting food on the weekends, going and drinking. I'm going to start taking my fitness more seriously. And I think ever since just me hitting rock bottom, my life has just gotten tremendously better. And I think that's probably the biggest thing, which was just a turning point in my life. Just everything going completely wrong and just allowing myself to just basically kill that old version of myself off and just being completely reborn.
Yeah. So no matter what stage you're at, whether you're feeling good about yourself or you've got absolutely nothing, not got a pot to piss in, and you're starting from scratch, and you've got access to this video, you've got access to other videos like this, you've got access to people who have got the secret, who you can learn from for free. And that's the beauty of this age, is that it's all there. You're no longer in sort of the space where you have to listen to the people around you. You can listen to millionaires, and it's all out there for free. And when you get to the point where you can pay for some advice, do it.
100%. I think not trying to pay for advice will slow your growth down a lot. I mean, people think like, investing $500 into yourself, it's like, this guy's just going to take my money. But honestly, people are doing it all the way up. Like the people who are in your dream situation, they'll be paying for advice from people, even just to get this tiny small bit of advice, just to boost their business that little bit further. So yeah. I think just invest into yourself, whether it be time, money, just as much as you possibly can.
Definitely, yeah. Sort of reinvesting. You see a lot of people sort of just taking dividends and just running away with the cash and that sort of stuff. But if you're not developing your product and you're not continually growing as a person, which is the main thing, is because the person drives everything. If you take you out of the situation, none of the work's going to get done. So you've got to optimise your health, optimise your surroundings, optimise who you spend your most time with, what you consume, and then you've just got to be committed to the goal and work towards it. So yeah, wrapping up there. Nice to have a chat with you. Get to know a bit more about you.
Sure.
As we've only known each other like less than 3 or 4 days, so
yeah.
Jumping straight into it. So no, it's good. But no, I enjoy talking, and we're going to head up to the roof now. As you can see, I'm pretty warm sat here, so we're going to go and get a gym session in and yeah, catch a bit of sun. But no,
Lovely.
thanks for watching. If you like the video and want to see a few more about this, just hit the subscribe button. I've got a series going on at the minute called 6 Months to Make It, and you've got some YouTube.
Yeah, I've just started a YouTube channel literally yesterday, so if you want to find that, it's Cailum Woods 1. There'll be tons of educational stuff based on what I do, so if you want to find out anything more about what I do, I'm basically just giving it all out for free on there for you guys, so be sure to check that out as well.
Awesome. See you soon.